rematch. Canelo. When you know you the best of the best. And you not like the rest, now you better than the rest. It's the fight of your life, it's time to reign supreme. And fulfill all your dreams, this is history. Uppercut, right hand, viciously. Uppercut, hard right hand by Triple G. The rematches come, who gon' be the winner? There can only be one rematch.
Canelo versus Triple G 2, Saturday, September 15th at T-Mobile Arena. Tickets available on AXS.com.
Welcome to Canelo versus Triple G 2, the media workout. We are in beautiful downtown LA. I am Mario Lopez with the esteemed editor of Ring Magazine, Doug Schiffer. We're here at beautiful Bank of California Stadium, brand new home to the Los Angeles Football Club. And people are already filing in to see the two champions train, and both have come in already in impeccable shape, near fighting weight. And Doug, you can just feel the energy. This is a fight that people have been anticipating since the last one took place. There's Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, arriving very casual, and he weighed in recently really close to fight weight, right,
yeah,
Doug?
just 8 pounds away from the middleweight division limit of 160 pounds. 30 days out from the fight, so you know he's focused and dialed in for this rematch.
A lot of fans for Gennady Golovkin here, too. A lot of fans. And I would say, maybe about 50-50. The passion is fierce with these two. Again, I'm Mario Lopez with Doug Fisher. And Doug, I can't remember last time I was this excited about a fight. The first fight, I thought really delivered, and it was a technical chess match, and it started to build into a real fight. But since then, we've had a lot of drama, a lot of animosity build with the drug testing and the delay of the fight. I think we're in for a much better fight. Why should people be excited for this rematch?
Well, for starters, we're talking about two bona fide future first ballot Hall of Famers. And I think in the first fight, Canelo Alvarez proved that he's a real middleweight, and Gennady Golovkin proved that he was a real star who could perform on the highest platform, at the highest level, with all eyes on him. I think they've got that proving ground out of the way, and going into the rematch, it's really about the fight, because both guys really want to hurt the other. Both guys want that W.
And not often do fights deliver when the hype is behind it, but I thought this last fight was a great fight, but I think this one will even be a more action-packed, violent affair, with both men having something to prove, and there was a mutual respect with both fighters. But this time out, Doug, is it fair to say there's some natural animosity and some bad blood brewing?
It's genuine. It's a grudge match. It's not just a rematch, it's a grudge match. These guys are now middleweight rivals. Both guys believe that they won the first fight. Both guys have watched the fight a few times, and both men quite candidly say they could have done more. They could have done certain things better. Canelo could have jabbed more, could have stood his ground more. Triple G could have started faster, could have worked the body more.
Right.
It's not a bad idea for Canelo to work the body. I know he's working on that. If they just add those little wrinkles, we'll go from a really entertaining technical fight to like a war that is worthy of the middleweight division.
Well, some people are already chiming in with thoughts. Enrique Belchado says Triple G has to knock out Canelo or he'll get robbed again.
I don't agree with that.
You don't?
No, because one thing I've learned in boxing is when there's a controversial fight, the fighter that the public and the media believes was wronged in that match, a lot of times if there's an immediate rematch, the official judges will lean the other way. They will give the benefit of the doubt to, in close rounds, to the fighter who they thought should have won the first fight. We saw that when Lennox Lewis fought Evander Holyfield. The second time, Holyfield did a lot better. That fight could have legitimately been a draw, but the judges had to make up for that first fight.
Well, that's ironic. We don't know if that necessarily will be the case this time. I think Canelo will fight with a lot more confidence. I think maybe he showed him a little bit too respect, was concerned with Gennady's power. I think he knows that he can not only take the punch, but he's got power of his own. His defense continues to improve, and his bobbing and weaving, and with those counter shots, I think he'll stand his ground a little bit more and deliver more shots.
Absolutely. I think in the first fight, it was his first time where he weighed in at 160, and he was fighting a legitimate middleweight. And he wasn't quite sure how his body was going to last the 12-round distance, but I think he sent a message to Triple G, to his critics, and also to himself in those final 3 rounds by pressing hard, closing strong, that, no, this is his right weight class, and he can fight a harder 12 rounds than he did the first time.
That's what I think. He'll be brimming with confidence. I also think that he'll start a little bit more, be a little more aggressive in his attack. He'll let those hands go. The combinations will go. He realizes that he can step aside, and his defense, to me, continues to improve every fight out. So I think we're going to see a much more active Canelo. But then, to your point, if Triple G does decide to go to the body a little bit more and maybe cut off the ring a little bit more effectively, then it could prove some great exchanges.
Yeah, it would be a good idea for Golovkin to start faster. I think maybe he was caught up in the moment. Maybe he was feeling those bright lights. This was his first time headlining a huge pay-per-view event. He'd been on pay-per-view a couple times where he was the A side, but this time he was the B side, and I think maybe he felt it for about 2 rounds, and it took him a while to heat up. He's over that now. I think he needs to start fast.
Well, right now, let's go to our Roxy Diaz, who had an opportunity to speak with Tom Loeffler.
Hey, guys, I'm here with Triple G's promoter, Tom Loeffler. Tom, I want to know, what are we going to expect this go-around? Because you both have said, you and Oscar, that it's going to be a different kind of fight, and both fighters have to change their strategies.
Roxy, I think it's clear that both guys don't like each other anymore. All the respect they had the first fight, you know, where they were training, they were sparring with each other from a long time ago. I think that's all out the window. With this rematch now, Canelo's predicting a knockout. Triple G is going to be even more aggressive, and I think the fans are really going to win in this rematch because it's going to be much more exciting. First fight was a great fight, but I think this fight here, but both guys don't want to leave it in judges' hands.
What has been the hardest part of the negotiations for this rematch? Honestly.
Canelo was dug in on his side. Triple G was dug in on his side. Eric and I were trying to bridge the gap. And we were very close for a long period of time, but neither guy wanted to make a concession. Just like in the ring, they don't want to give an inch. So that was the hardest part, just bridging that gap. We finally did it. We actually did it after the deadline that was set. It was dead for about an hour, and then Eric came up with a solution that was acceptable to Triple G, and then we made it happen.
We know that they both have to go in with different strategies. I want to know, has training been differently? What has Triple G been focusing on now that he didn't focus on in the last fight?
Well, you know, he's sponsored by Jordan, so Jordan made faster shoes for him so he can catch Canelo. Nobody expected Canelo to move as much as he did in the first fight. So Gennady's going to be prepared for that, but he's not really focused on what Canelo's going to do this time. He's just focused on his style. He's training. Like I said, he doesn't want to leave it in the judges' hands, so I think you'll see a much more aggressive Triple G and starting out a lot quicker to make an impact in the fight.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, well, that was calm Loeffler there, delivering a couple jabs and saying essentially Canelo was running and not standing his ground, didn't really want to fight.
Which I don't agree with 100%. I thought Canelo fought a Canelo fight. Both guys, when they're in with an offensive threat, they're going to be a little more careful. We saw that with Golovkin when he fought David Lemieux and Curtis Stevens, guys who can punch. He was a little more careful, and Canelo's the same way. He respected Golovkin's power.
You respect it, you show respect until you sort of gauge, and it started to heat up. We're actually going to see the 13th round. Speaking of Triple G, let's see some highlights of some of his work.
Last September, Gennady Golovkin faced off against middleweight rival Canelo Alvarez in a dynamite fight that was ultimately and controversially ruled a draw. The two warriors will meet for a second time in Las Vegas on September 15th, live on HBO pay-per-view. Here now, Gennady Golovkin's greatest hits.
And the crowd responds to Triple G. Right hand from Golovkin, and Proxa gets hurt. Down he goes.
He talks of his predator instinct, and you can see it there.
Starting to land most of his shots now. These are hard jabs right on the chin. Triple G is beginning to pull out the power and let his hands go. Good left hook by Golovkin, and down goes Stevens. Cossack thunder, and the look on Stevens' face there says 1,000 words. And Golovkin is going to work. Hard right hand upstairs. Trapping Gil against the ropes, cornering him, and hammering him like that body shot. Hard right hand by Golovkin. Body shot, Brook is in trouble. Left hook, down goes Monroe. He trapped him in the corner, fired one shot to the cheekbone, and down went Willie Monroe. Golovkin is thinking power and attacking. Predator at work.
That was a big right hand.
Oh, right hand, hurt Proxa. Golovkin steps in and down he goes again.
Oh, good right hand on the uppercut. Rock back Rosado. Wow, what a shot right to the mouth. Blood just everywhere.
Golovkin boxing purposely and fiercely. Hard right hand by Golovkin. Down goes Jacobs. And talk about getting in. Straight right hand up the middle. Left hook again. And here we go. Golovkin's putting a lot of pressure on Rook.
Rook's face right now is showing the effect of the power of Triple G.
Oh, that right hand to the body was vicious by Golovkin. Body shot puts Macklin down. Crowd chanting Triple G, Triple G. They want to see the damage. Gennady steps back in and lands a hard right uppercut and a right cross and a left hook.
Breaking him down now, Jim.
And now it's the right hand.
He's amazing. Down goes Gill again on a brilliant right hand.
That's a bazooka that Golovkin is throwing.
Right hand by Golovkin. Another left. Hard left hook. Down goes Martirosyan. Flowing like water. Body shot. Jab again. Jab again. Hooking off the jab. Engel is trying to get referee Marlon Wright to stop the fight, and now he finally throws the towel into the ring. Hard uppercut by Golovkin. Now he's got him pinned against the ropes. Predator at work. Down goes Rubio. It was only a matter of time. It's always just a matter of time.
It's not just that Golovkin knocks people out. It's the way he knocks people out.
Don't miss Canelo-Alvarez versus Gennady-Golovkin 2, Saturday, September 15, live on HBO pay-per-view.
Triple G's work there and seeing why he's one of the most feared men in boxing. And they showed a clip of Martirosyan last time we saw him in the ring, ending that fight in quick fashion. So seems to be extremely focused. The man always comes in shape right now. Let's throw it to Roxy Diaz, who's in the middle of the ring. What's up, Roxy?
The energy is just building up right here, Mario. I don't know if you feel it from up there, but right here, everybody is ready to see the action. It is all about September 15th. It's all about Team Canelo versus Team Triple G. I mean, we're here in LA doing it really big, getting ready for the fight. It's almost as if it was Las Vegas right now. So we will be speaking to all of the fighters. We're going to be speaking to the trainers, the corners, everything right here. But right now, I'll throw it right back to you, Mario.
Thank you, Roxy. You look good in there.
Thank you.
Glove up. Yeah, you know, people are lined up here and sitting early, Doug. I think it seems to me that this is just going to be, the delay was not too long. We would have liked to have seen it a little earlier, but it's happening just at the right time. 16 de septiembre, you know, the big Mexican holiday, the 15th September, or 16th, I should say, and it seems like it's just the right time. Any longer, it would have been a little overdue.
Yeah, in a way, this fight and this rivalry never left the public consciousness because of the controversy and outrage over that one scorecard in the first fight, Adelaide Bird scorecard. And then the back and forth between the camps, who really won the fight, and between their fans, and then the anxiety and angst over whether or not the rematch would be made for May 5. Would they, would they pass a certain deadline, December or January? They make the fight for May 5th, and we have the clenbuterol controversy and that whole scandal.
La carne asada.
Right, and then the fight gets moved from May 5th to maybe May 15th, but first, there's a renegotiation.
Right.
And the fight almost doesn't happen, so it stayed in the news and in the public eye, and just when you start to think, you know what, everyone's burnt out on Canelo Triple G, now we're 3 weeks away, and everybody's excited, and they have that anticipation again.
Well, it was a soap opera leading up to it,
really
which I think is going to lead to an even bigger event. Well, Jaime Martinez says Triple G's got power, Canelo has it all. Essentially saying that Triple G's all about the punch, but
I don't agree with
a little
that.
full versatile. I don't either. Adelfo Feria says just hoping for a solid fight from start to finish. Yes, Adolfo.
That, I think, will be delivered.
I agree with that. Adolfo, thank you. Belal Rochina says Canelo Alvarez knocks him out in the rematch. That's a bold statement.
That is a bold statement, and that would be a bold statement by Canelo Alvarez.
Yes, it would.
Absolute redemption for him. There's some high stakes with this fight.
And on social media, there's been all kinds of great clips from the original fight itself, and one of them was the shots that Triple G took, a couple of those vicious uppercuts from Canelo, and he took them rather well and kept coming forward. So he proved that that chin is a granite chin, and he's taking world class.
Maybe among the best middleweight chins, going back to Marvin Hagler or Bernard Hopkins.
I agree. So when you know you've taken the man's best shot and you're able to continue to keep coming forward, does that necessarily mean you're going to press the action a little bit quicker this next time?
Yes.
Canelo, Triple G did establish his jab, I thought, really well.
You know, both guys showed what made them special. Both guys exhibited in that first fight what got them to that big dance. And for Triple G, it's a world-class jab, backed by smart pressure. And for Canelo Alvarez, it's that accuracy. It's the defensive prowess, the counter-punching.
Exactly.
So but they both need to add a little bit to that. Triple G's got to do more than jab and press. And Canelo's got to do more than slip and counter.
You're exactly right. And I think whoever initiates their game plan and is a little more active, who is a little busier, and who's coming forward a little bit more, and I think that's one of the big reasons a lot of people think Gennady should have got the nod, is because he looked like he was initiating the action, coming forward.
And he was working 3 minutes of the round.
Correct.
Marching forward and working that jab.
Correct. But like I said earlier, I actually think that Canelo, because I feel that not only could he also take his punch, but he can get his shots off and get out of the way, will be a little bit more active and might stand his ground. So I think, and not to mention, like you said, they both have a point to prove, and it is a grudge match, should make for a very exciting rematch.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You make a good point about the rock-solid chin of Golovkin. So I think it would behoove Canelo to go to the body. Everybody's talking about Triple G needs to go to the body more. He didn't land enough body punches. I think Canelo got a little bit of respect. If you go back and watch like the first 3 rounds, the first fight, Canelo tapped the body of Golovkin and got some respect. If you can't hurt a guy to the chin, try him downstairs, particularly when that guy is 36 years old.
It's going to be interesting to see if Canelo does go to the body, which he usually likes to do with Golovkin. And I also think Golovkin didn't like a couple of those counter uppercuts, so maybe that's why he didn't want to attack the body as much.
Well, that's why he didn't go crazy on Canelo when Canelo went to the ropes, because Canelo counters very well off the ropes.
Very well, you're exactly. He's quick with that. Well, Benny Casteron says Canelo by knockout in 9th round.
And we're hearing from the Canelo fans, and they're loud and proud here today.
David Nalam says Triple G won the first fight. Golden Boy is obviously pushing money for the rematch here. Conspiracy here. Eddie Gonzalez, Triple G knocks out Canelo in the 4th. Wow, that's ambitious.
Yeah.
That's bold, too.
I don't see that happening, but again, that would be a huge statement.
Yes.
That would set the boxing world
that
on fire.
That would be Hearns Hagler-esque, if that were
and I'm okay with an early stoppage if they go at it like Hagler and Hearns.
Right, exactly.
I'm all for shootouts.
Which, by the way, it seems by the talk, and both these guys aren't big talkers, they're leaning towards that. You know, we don't have to prove their machismo. We know they bring it, but it seems like...
And neither guy is prone to hyperbole.
Right,
like
exactly.
Most guys, these guys, they don't just talk the talk. Usually they don't talk at all.
Right.
So you assume if they talk the talk, they're going to walk the walk.
Right, exactly. So, no, I think the tension has been brewing. I think both of them have a lot to prove, and it's going to be a career-defining fight for both of them. And who knows, if it's close again, we may see a third fight between these two.
There's no doubt about that. However, the middleweight division is more interesting now than it was 1 year ago or 2 years ago. So I think there's a lot of there's some fan demand to see Canelo and Triple G fight other guys.
Well,
there's good middleweights out there.
Well, the good thing, too, about this whole card is that we're going to see a lot of great matchups other than Triple G and Canelo.
Oh, there's Lemieux and Spike O'Sullivan.
We were just
Those
talking
are lower top 10
there.
Contenders.
That's going to be a fun fight. That's going to be a fun fight. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I think that's bombs away. There's no way it's not going to be blood and guts. I think the style matchup favors Lemieux because he's the bigger puncher, and Spike O'Sullivan's going to just take it to him. Right. However, Spike O'Sullivan's on a really good run, and I think he's the fresher fighter of the two, maybe the more motivated fighter between the two. And Lemieux can be kind of an up-and-down fighter.
Right.
Sometimes he struggles with making weight, so you're never quite sure what version of Lemieux you're going to get, but I think the best version of David Lemieux knocks out Spike, or at least stops him, maybe on cuts.
Yeah, because he does still know how to whack, and
but it'll be a crazy fight.
They've been going back and forth on social media too.
They've got personality.
And then one of my favorite up-and-coming stars right now, already a champion, Jaime Munguia, and how he makes junior middleweight.
I don't know. He's going to be in middleweight sooner rather than later. Within
he came in
12 to
underweight
18
last
months.
time, though.
Yeah.
So I was surprised. I thought he struggles that much. He actually came in, but it seems inevitable.
Look at his bone structure and the amount of weight he puts on between the weigh-in and fight night. That's a modern middleweight right there. He's young. He's 21 years old, so he could still make 154, but it's only a matter of time before he's a player at middleweight.
I thought in his last fight, too, I'm glad he ended up going the distance. And I thought with Beefy, with Liam Smith there, I'm glad he made him where I think it was a fight that he'll end up being... He'll grow from it.
Absolutely.
He'll be a better fighter at the end of the day. I think sometimes you fall in love with your power and you forget to work on other aspects of your game. I think it humbled him a little bit to know that he's not just going to go out and blast everyone.
Right.
And he's a guy that will continue to improve. He works hard in the gym. Nice kid, too, so I look forward to seeing more of him later on.
He's got a smart, experienced trainer in Robert Alcazar guiding him. And Alcazar is all about technique. He's all about the jab. He's all about footwork and head movement. So he's going to add these wrinkles, but it will take time. But the thing about Munguia, which is great for fans, is they're sort of microwaving this career because this young man fights like the old-timers do.
Right.
I think this is already his 4th or 5th fight of 2018.
It's interesting that you mentioned Alcazar, too, who used to be the trainer for Oscar De La Hoya, of course. But Oscar, totally different style, was very much on his toes. Quick jabs, obviously. Beautiful, quick combinations. But Munguia is not De La Hoya, without due respect, in his style. So it's interesting how he's I hope he's not trying to emulate him too much.
Right.
And he knows how to mold that kind of guy. Now, Eddie Gonzalez over here is a big fan. He says Munguia is the future.
I agree.
Yeah, well,
he was Ring Magazine's 2017 Prospect of the Year, and in less than 5 months, he was a world champion. So he's moving at a very fast rate in his professional development.
And before he jumps up to middleweight, there's a couple of fights, of course, that I'd love to see him here. One with Hurd.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
That'd be a great fight.
That fight could take place at junior middleweight, or super middleweight.
Right.
Those guys, I don't know how they make junior
I don't know how they make that weight.
They're huge.
Meanwhile, it's a party over here. They got the mariachi music already going. It's a gorgeous night in L.A. on this Sunday. And we've got Triple G, who's got his fair share of Mexican fans here to represent him and support him. We got fans from all over, too, which is great. But whenever you have these sort of events that are family-friendly and free to the public, it's great to be close to the stars.
And it's great when the weather accommodates us.
The weather accommodates. You're exactly
right. I remember the open workouts, the public workouts last year.
Right.
It's like 100 degrees.
No, exactly.
That was insane.
Exactly.
And then with their kickoff press conference when the fight was still scheduled for May 5th, it rained and it was cold. You remember that?
Right, I remember
really
that.
Cold.
That's right, which is rare in Vegas.
This is beautiful. So this is a good omen.
And I want to, and I hope it's a sign for the future that maybe we can host a big fight here later on, because this is a beautiful venue, right, Doug?
Yeah, this is a perfect fight for Canelo Alvarez, who in North America, he's the only stadium fighter among active fighters. There's two fighters in boxing right now who are too big for arenas. And that's the heavyweight champ, Anthony Joshua, and it's Canelo Alvarez. They are stadium fighters when they want to fight in a stadium. And I could see in 18 months, Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia. Wow. That's a perfect fight for Los Angeles.
That is a great fight. Or the trilogy.
Yes, that's true.
Back here in L.A. If it's another close fight, if we have another a little bit more controversy. Well, I know the fans are starting to get fired up. I believe Triple G. We're on Triple G.
I think he might be coming out soon.
He might be coming out soon. He's not one to be tardy. And here's the thing about Triple G, too. He's now living in L.A. He's settled in. He's a family guy. He's very much rooted here. He likes it here. He's really embraced the community. The community's embraced him.
Yeah.
So, and he, like you mentioned, is 36 years old. So he knows this is his time right now. That window's closing. He's making the most of it. The guy's always been a consummate professional. I don't think there's any doubt we're gonna not see the best Gennady Golovkin. come September.
Absolutely. I mean, he's held on to that world-class elite boxer form. I think, athletically speaking, maybe he peaked out in 2015.
Right.
But because of that extensive, decorated amateur background, because he has such a Spartan work ethic, he's able to hold on to his form. He's carrying his technique, even though athletically speaking, he's not what he was in 2013, 2014, which makes him like a lot of great middleweight champs in the past, like Bernard Hopkins, like Mike McCallum, like Marvin Hagler. These guys were able to still be on top of their game in their 30s and in their mid-30s.
Right, exactly. That's what they can rely on. They're not one-dimensional. They're multi-dimensional. And Triple G is right there with some of the greats. Well, these fans, you would swear it's a World Cup game. It's really got that soccer atmosphere. Well, we're in a soccer stadium. I've yet to see a game here, but this is exciting right here. We're gonna have to come back and check out one of the LA Football Club games they got here. Now the fans are going back and forth with Triple G and Canelo. Passion runs deep here. Roxy patiently waiting in the ring.
I love it when the fans kind of battle. You know.
Well, let's just hope they don't physically battle.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like a pep rally.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's in good spirits, but they're trying to show who has more spirit for their fighter.
Same shirt.
Yes.
Dancing. I don't feel his power. I don't feel nothing. I want to destroy him. So after this point, I want to destroy him. He knows he needs only decision, only 12 rounds. He moved every round. He moved. All fans understand who is champion.
absolutely not. The minute I get angry, I lose control. I lose mental control. The things that I say are the truth. So if nobody can take it, they can't take it. That's not my problem.
Why do you think the rematch is bigger than the first fight?
Because I think the testing positive for Kunduro made the fans upset. Made the fans wanting to prove to them that he's a clean fighter. I think the fans deserve that. The sport deserves that. And Canelo should reserve the right to be able to prove that.
Now, do you feel that your team is more determined going into the rematch than they were the first fight?
We're just as determined as the first time. Every fight is a fight. You don't win one, you don't get the next one.
Now, a few fans are saying they'd rather see you and Canelo fight than you and Triple G fight. What do you say to that?
Well, he's cost me a couple of years and he's cost me a couple of pounds. But no, I think that this fight is an important fight for our sport. It's important to fight the best against the best and to answer a lot of questions that we're left unanswered.
What would you like to say to all the fans that are here supporting Triple G?
I want to thank them for coming. I want to thank them for supporting the sport, supporting Triple G and Canelo. This is a sport that is man against man. There shouldn't be insults. It should be just the best man wins after the win.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Back to you, Mario.
Yeah.
A little bit more project. Okay, this one for this hand. A little bit more project.
You want to sign a glove before you start? I want to do it later. Do it real quick. Before a little quick.
This t-shirt is too small, G.
Too small?
Yeah,
Too tight?
Too tight. Training camp has been going very well. Very well. We're motivated, prepared, and hopefully we get the kind of fight that was promised the first time.
Is Triple G an angrier fighter going into this rematch? I don't mean to talk about you like you're not standing right here.
No, I wouldn't say he's angry. What I would say he's determined to make sure that all the talk that's been talked gets backed up.
So why do you think the rematch is actually bigger than the first fight?
Because of the positive test, for one, because of all the BS that's been said on the other side. I think it's important to note that it takes a fighter to fight to want to win, for them to get a decision or any kind of advantages on the judges' cards.
Would you say that you and your team are more determined in this fight than the first fight?
I don't think so. I think that every fight is very important. If we didn't win the first one or didn't win along the way, then we wouldn't be here talking to you.
Now, I know a lot of people are really anxious to see what's going to happen September 15th, Canelo versus Triple G. But a lot of the fans want to see you versus Canelo. What do you say to the fans for that?
He'd have to stop me a couple pounds in a couple years. I'm through with that kind of stuff, but I think he's got his hands full with Golovkin in the ring. He better do what he's saying he's going to do, or else the fans are going to eat him alive.
What would you like to say to all the Triple G fans, all the fans that are right here in attendance today?
Thank you to all the smiling faces for coming out. We're just going to put on a small exhibition today, but come out September the 15th, watch it on pay-per-view. Make sure you don't miss it. I think it's going to be a great fight.
Thank you so much for your time. Mario, I'll toss it back to you if you're here.
Hold on, guys, hold on.
Sweating. Right now, I'm going to finish the wrap. We're going to shadow box for about 2 rounds, 2 minutes, and then we'll put the glove on, okay? Right, one more time.
And we're back. Doug, yes, there we are. All right, welcome everyone. Took a little bit of a hiatus right there. Just wanted you to enjoy the silence for a quick hot minute. So Triple G, warmly embraced. I think no matter who you're going for, I think both fighters are equally respected on both sides.
Absolutely.
With the fans
and
here,
both
right,
fighters have loyal, die-hard followers.
Right, exactly.
They have guys and women and youngins that are going to stick with them through and through.
Yes. And Gennady, we've seen him jump rope a little bit, got his hands wrapped. He's gonna probably hit the mitts for a little bit. It's a light workout. It's a chance for fans to sort of see him. We're gonna talk to him, of course, and this will be the last time I'm sure these two are in the same area
until fight week, until the
fight
final
week.
press conference. That's right.
Exactly. So, you know, they're both aware of each other's presence, and I'm sure they've been kept apart. Triple G really soaking it up, loves and has always been gracious with his fans, signs everything. If you ever meet the guy, really nice guy, extremely down to earth, will take a picture with you, just enjoys relishing in the spotlight, right?
Yeah, and he's very comfortable. I think maybe a few years ago, shaking out in front of a crowd this big, he might have been a little bit tight, but he's turned the corner as far as being that guy, that champion that's known by just the diehard fans.
Right.
And he's crossed over. He's crossed over a little bit.
Well, Doug, you mentioned that Canelo was the biggest ticket seller and attraction in North America.
Stadium fighter.
I would say Triple G is on the short list right behind
Yes,
him
he
there,
is.
right?
Yeah, I think there's two stadium fighters, two active stadium fighters in boxing. There's heavyweight Anthony Joshua.
Right.
There's Canelo Alvarez here in North America. Joshua fills up stadiums in Europe, in the UK. And then right underneath them, you have Gennady-Golovkin, who sells out arenas on both coasts.
Right.
Sells out arenas, and when he was in London.
Against Kell Brook, exactly.
Yeah, so that's the O2 Arena. So that's 20,000. Madison Square Garden. That's about 20,000, a little over when it's packed to the rafters.
Out here at StubHub.
StubHub and the Forum.
And the Forum.
That's
You're right.
16 to 18,000.
That's right. That's right. No, he is a true global star. Very respected and revered all around the world. And Triple G is the kind of guy that you want your stars to be: humble, down to earth, accessible. And Canelo, always gracious with his fans as well. A little, for a young guy, very serious guy.
Yes.
And one of the things I like about him is that as long as he's been champion, he still continues to work on his craft, and I think has improved every time out. I think his defense has really gotten incredible, and I think his camps continue to work hard. He hasn't gotten complacent, which is a great example for other kids out there watching.
No, not at all. And when you look at his resume and you factor in that he just turned 28, I believe.
Right.
He's fought Hall of Famers. Listen, Gennady-Golovkin's going to the Hall of Fame, okay? Shane Mosley, first ballot Hall of Famer right there.
Sure.
Miguel Cotto, first ballot Hall of Famer. Floyd Mayweather, first ballot. He's shared the ring with these guys.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's a two-division champion and one of the biggest attractions of like the last 20, 30 years.
We got Furman Carrasco giving Golden Boy a shout out. Thank you, Golden Boy Boxing. Glad it finally came to fruition. Josue Perez, Triple G. Triple G with his share of fans, a lot of Latin fans too.
And very rare, by the way.
Right.
And probably unprecedented that a European, Eastern European / Central Asian boxer could be adopted by Mexican fans to the extent that Triple G has. It's happened before with other Latinos, such as Roberto Duran being from Panama,
Arguello, of course.
Alexis Arguello, the great Cubans like Jose Napoles and Sugar Ramos, but they moved from Cuba and lived and fought in Mexico before coming to America. But we haven't seen Mexican fans embrace a European fighter.
No,
it's never happened.
It's never happened. It goes to show their loyalty and for the style and the appreciation of the heart and the valor that he shows in there. Now, Jason Kelly, Abel Sanchez, the king, with 14 champion of the world man.
Yeah. Abel Sanchez is destined for the Hall of Fame as well as a trainer.
He's developing.
That's a great
quite
trio
stable.
right there. Tom Loeffler, the promoter, Abel Sanchez, the head trainer, and then you have the short, older guy there, Ben Lira.
Right.
I call him the Yoda of Southern California boxing. He's part of
been on the
Triple
scene
G's
forever.
camp, and he brings a lot of boxing wisdom to that team.
Yeah. No, these guys, he's got a great team around him, and he's been loyal to them, and he's stuck with them. He hasn't switched from trainer to trainer. Abel has really brought out the best of him, and is largely responsible for making him the star.
He reminds me of Marvin Hagler in many ways, and that's one of the ways. Hagler had his same trainer-managers, the Petronelli brothers, for his entire pro career.
Well, there's something to be said for consistency, too.
Yes.
You learn the nuances, you learn what makes him tick, and aside from just a physical aspect, psychologically, emotionally, you know what your guy's going for. Cynthia says, name my son Gennady. Go Triple G. Wow. Gennady Rodriguez. Or Gennady Reyes Rodriguez is her son.
It's got a nice ring to it. That's a real fan.
That's the ultimate compliment. I mean, you can't get bigger than that. She should.
Do you think she's got Triple G tattooed anywhere on her body?
Well, I mean, you named your son. That's enough. But that might be a little.
Maybe.
Maybe. But then
then
you're getting creepy at that point. Iñaki Arzate said, great to see both boxers in this open workout. Waiting for September 15th. That's right. Iñaki, we can't wait.
You won't have to wait long. 3 weeks away, and these weeks are going to fly right by.
T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. It's going to be a big party there all week leading up to it.
Yep.
The whole card is going to be a great card. You definitely get your money's worth. Triple G gloving up right now. Casey Hogan, Abel Sanchez looking fit. I mean, when you're training with these guys and you're just holding mitts and keeping up with them, you're going to get in shape.
Yeah, you have to be.
Right.
You have to have that resistance. And you know what? Abel's not a little guy. He's a big guy, so he can hold those mitts and he can hold that pad that Gennady bangs on. Hold the heavy bag.
Those are some heavy hands coming at you there.
Not just Triple G. Murat Gassiev is part of that.
True.
camp.
He's
That's
not
part of
wearing that
team.
body armor with those guys, though, right? You got to get the younger guys for that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right, fight night. Text goes here, A and B. Well, there's a little tease to see who you think is going to win.
Yeah, we've got a poll coming up.
Eddie Gonzalez says Triple G looks great and very confident. It's going to be a great fight. Triple G will knock out Canelo.
Bold words.
We've got a couple of bold statements for each fighter predicting knockouts. Both of them got the power to do it. It's not like they're not capable. It's a matter of...
I see another distance fight.
You see it going the distance,
Yeah,
really?
I do. I think both guys are underrated boxer technicians, and
both guys got great chins, too.
Yes, and they have good chins. They have underrated defense.
Right.
Canelo, you can see it. It's more pronounced because of the head and upper body movement, but Golovkin covers up well, tucks his chin well.
Carries his punches.
Carries, right.
Yeah.
Blocks, and he hides his chin behind his shoulders very well.
You're exactly right.
So they're not easy to hit with flush shots. But like I spoke of earlier in this broadcast, when they're in with a threat, they're a little bit more careful. They're smart guys in there.
Yeah, no, and I think and as much as the animosity and all the drama that's built leading up to it, I still think they'll be pretty careful, but I do think it will be a little more violent than the first fight once those exchanges start to happen.
And a little violence is okay.
And we talked about this a little earlier. What I love about the mitt workout with Triple G and Abel, Doug, is that none of this fancy 20, 30 punch combinations. It's just real effective combos, straight rights and hooks. 1, 2, 3, big hooks, just punches that you're going to use in an actual fight that are applicable.
It's not for show.
Not for show, right. These are effective, and these are punches that will come, he'll find himself in a situation to throw.
And it's about mechanics.
Right.
It's about leverage. It's about accuracy.
The thing about Gennady, too, aside from his power, and we know his pedigree, but he's always on balance. And the way he measures distance, when he's throwing the body shot, how he measures the jab, it's really impressive. Those are the little nuances that just why he's such an elite, great fighter. His footwork, the way he measures distance, which is so hard to do.
And that's a good observation about his balance and his foot placement and his footwork, and I think that's a big part of his ring cutting ability. It's a big part of his ability to take a good shot.
Right.
Because he's always on balance, even if he gets buzzed a little bit, his feet are under him. And it's, of course, it has to do with his power.
Right.
Because punching power is not just about physical strength and just that natural, pop to your shots. It's also about knowing, it's about the leverage.
You're exactly
having
right.
Your weight underneath each punch.
Abel, I think, was shaking it off, might have hurt his hand a little bit, and Gennady maybe a little excited with the crowd.
There we go. I don't know what you call that. I call it the pillow.
Right.
That pad, that punching pad.
Right. The thick pillow pad. Yeah, usually folks, this is I love this, and those big left hooks.
Because a fighter can get his hips more into this pad work.
And this is effective pad. This is effective pad work right here. This is what comes in handy. Any kids watching or any fighters out there, forget those 20, 30 punch combinations. This is what you work on. This is what is effective. And we saw him just a couple punches ago throw that nice corkscrew punch that I love. It's that sort of left hook, but he comes on top of it with the top knuckle. Yeah. He throws it both with the left hook, and when he has you in the corner with that overhand right, kind of over the guard or behind the guard. There it is again. It's just nasty punch. It's hard. It's nasty. It's hard with force, and it's difficult to defend.
Yeah, and he does it so naturally, but these guys work at it.
Yeah, no, they do. I try to emulate it and sparring myself and trying to emulate Triple G. It's a fun punch. Yeah. It's a fun little punch. Hard on the hands, by the way.
Well, that's why he's always building his wrist strength and his grip strength.
Yeah. Like we mentioned, he's only 6-7 pounds over fighting weight. He wears the weight well. He looks already in tremendous shape. There was some pictures of him on social media. People saying he looked out of shape. The guy maybe just did.
Well, look at him right now.
No,
folks.
exactly.
Come on, you tell me.
And by the way, he never looks out of shape. It's not like he lets himself balloon up. Just at other times, you're a little more defined than others.
At the same time, he's never shredded.
Right.
But I like it. He looks like a natural 36-year-old veteran boxer.
Right. But you can tell, and if you ever touch the guy, when you're touching his lats, he's a solid guy.
Yes, rock solid.
And from the wrist to the elbow, those are some thick wrists, strong forearms, and you can see, okay, now I know where this guy hits hard.
His lats, his deltoids, his shoulders, very strong.
Whereas Canelo, also strong, but he's built more, I like to say, like a wrestler.
Yes, he is.
With the thick legs, his back, and his strength, a different kind of. Triple G's more of like that country strength.
Yeah, right.
Where Canelo is a little more of that explosive.
Yes, and that's one of the edges that Canelo has in this matchup is the speed, the explosiveness, the bursting speed and power and accuracy.
Well, and like you mentioned, his defense, because his bobbing and weaving is almost sort of James Toney-esque.
But
he answers so quickly with the counter shots. It's so pretty and great to watch. He's very effective with that. He did really well against Miguel Cotto, too, who's obviously Hall of Famer, great fighter. Well, that was a quick workout, though.
It was.
Getting the hands out now.
I think it took.
I don't even think he did a round there.
It took longer for his hands to be wrapped.
A lot longer.
Those pads, but
you don't want to exert yourself.
Yeah.
There's Max right on the right side of the screen. Triple G's
twin brother.
Twin brother.
Big and a big part of that camp.
Yes.
That's his confidant. That's the guy who kind of smooth. It makes Gennady feel at home at all times.
And that was very cool. He's throwing his. Look at that! Wow, he made it all the way up to the.
He's got an arm, huh?
He's got an arm on him. Chargers could use him as a backup, or the Dodgers in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving out the raps right there. That was very, very cool. All right, let's go to Roxy with Triple G in the ring. Go ahead, Roxy.
All right, I know this has been a moment that a lot of people have been waiting for. Everybody has been wanting to hear from the man himself. Where's Team Triple G at right now? So, we want to know, this go around, do you think that a knockout is the only way to prove that you're a better fighter?
Sorry, give me a chance. I want to say thanks for everybody, guys. Thank you for your support. It's very important for us, for boxing. Thank you, guys. Of course, everybody want big drama show like that. Just knock him down. I wanted to really, because I speak really, very really, and I want to really, this situation, I want to show him, like, people very smart, don't listen to him.
You two, Canelo, you used to be friends before this. Is that no longer the case? Are you guys no longer friends?
Right now it's a different story. If he come back for real life, of course we'll stay friends. If he stay like a fake, he's not my friend.
Now, Canelo has proven that he can last 12 rounds with you. What will be differently in this next fight to ensure that if it doesn't go to the scorecards, you win?
Right now it's a different story. Really, right now it's a very different story. We have very different emotion, very different, everything. Just we bring new style, new emotion, new strategy, like everything. This is biggest day for us. This September 15, Independence Mexican Day, guys. Just remember, don't miss this fight.
What would you like to say to all the Triple G fans that are out here right now to watch you?
Just thank you very much. Thank you very much, people, all world. This is, this biggest support, and really remember this. Who stay with me is real guys. Who stay with him, these fakes. Remember this.
Triple G, thank you so much. Mario, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Thank you, Roxy. Well, Triple G not mincing words right there. He so gracious of the support, but those are some pretty telling comments, Doug, insinuating that he was cheating essentially, and the drug test was not, and it is what he was, and he shouldn't make excuses, and to come clean, and they could be friends. So
I also think he's speaking to what a lot of hardcore fans perceive as a diva attitude with Team Canelo and Canelo himself. They're saying he says we could be friends again if he comes back to real life, if he keeps it real.
Right.
But if he acts fake, forget about it.
Doug, Angelo Garza says, is it me or does it look like Triple G lost a step? Do you agree?
I don't agree at all. I think, last year with Golovkin going the distance for the first time and doing it in back-to-back bouts and doing it against a higher level of opponent, I think a lot of folks were saying, well, maybe that streak of 23 knockouts was a bit of a mirage, and other people were saying, okay, well, he looks human now. Maybe he's turned the corner. He is in his mid-30s. Maybe he's beginning to fade. Maybe he's beginning to slip. I just think that Danny Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez fought the fight of their lives, fought really smart boxing fights, and these guys are in their athletic primes, and maybe Triple G is not quite at his athletic peak anymore, but he's still a world-class athlete, and he's still an elite boxer. He still out-jabbed those younger men.
No, you're absolutely right. They're elite fighters, and it sort of reminds you of when Mike Tyson didn't necessarily come out and knock someone out. They thought, maybe he was losing a little bit of his step.
Or maybe he was hype or something
right,
like that.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, when you fight elite fighters, sometimes it's going to take a minute.
That's true.
and make it a real fight. Now, looking back at the workout, we want to kind of that a little more of a showing.
Shakeout.
A little shakeout. Yeah. Well put. A little shakeout. Looking good with the shadow box in there. Really just out here just to let the fans get a good look at him.
He's got a smile on his face.
Yeah, that's the thing. The smile never leaves. And even in those shadow boxing, you see how he dips that shoulder for those big uppercuts, and the angles of his punches are always coming in. But there's that jab, which I think is the most important punch for him in particular, because it's a booming, hard jab. It's not necessarily a quick lightning jab that'll keep you out, but it's a knockout type jab.
And I think it's his saving grace against boxers who are going to employ a stick and move strategy. Because when you're sticking and moving, you can't be on your offense for 3 minutes. But if you're stalking and you're a ring cutter like Golovkin is, if you're working that jab, that's your consistent offense, and I think that wins rounds.
And he's able to disrupt the other fighter's timing and him doing play zone, and we talked about that great mitt work, and this with the big pillow, shall we say. Him showing glimpses of his power, big left hooks, big uppercuts. So Triple G came here showed his face, had some pretty serious words for Canelo Alvarez. We've talked about there being no love lost, but this is genuine, folks. These aren't guys who mince words and they say what they mean and mean what they say, and I think it's going to translate because they didn't need it, Doug. These are fighters that a lot of times you'll see certain fighters with a lot of hyperbole and a lot of antics, but and then they get in the ring and then all of a sudden they forget all that bravado. Oh, Jordan, thank you for asking. How's the recovery coming along? It's coming. Achilles injury is not something I would wish on anyone. It's a long road back. There it is right there. You know, ironically, Dove, I did it when I was sparring. And that's what happened. You know what it is? It's an old man injury.
Yeah.
I'm getting up there. I
didn't want to say it.
But I always said I'd start playing golf or something like that when my body's broken down and decrepit. Well, I'm getting there. But I'm still going to be back. I'm going to still come back. It's not going to let me slow me down.
Good on the tricep.
Yeah, on the little. Well, I can't walk yet.
Yeah.
I can't walk yet. But yeah, 6 rounds, sweaty, and then it happens. But I'll be back. My goal is the end of the year and a couple months to be walking. But it's not going to stop me from hanging out with you, being here for this media event, and of course being at the fight on September 15th. I'll be there if I have to hobble my way there. Which I will be, hobbling there.
Now, do you get like handicap parking? Do you have something you can hang in your mirror for the time being?
The disabled placard?
Yeah, do you?
Yes,
Okay,
I do, because it takes you a minute to get there, so I do get that.
So there's some perks.
Yeah, I mean, I need it because you can't really move away. Let me tell you something. You miss certain things like standing to brush your teeth.
Right.
Or taking a shower. Right? Because I got to take baths now. Just certain things. Playing with your kids.
Now, this time next year, when you're feeling good and you're feeling full of spunk and everything, and somebody says, hey, let's spar a few rounds, are you going to do it?
Oh, of course I'm going to do it.
Oh, you're a nutcase.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
this is just adding to the list of injuries.
Wow.
I've torn the rotator cuff.
Oh, wow.
I've busted the wrist. I've gotten staples on my head. I took an elbow on top of the headgear. It's a mess, but I can't. You get addicted, and it is what it is. All right, so we're going to take a little break. Doug and I, we saw Triple G. We're going to come back and continue the party here at Bank of California with the Triple G Canelo 2 Open Media Workout. We'll be right back.
Era el plan que teníamos, pelear en medio del ring. En ocasiones me dio la pauta para poder estar en las cuerdas también. Y pues hicimos lo que teníamos que hacer, lo que teníamos planeado hacer para la pelea.
It's impossible to knock somebody out when he fights the fight not to be knocked out. But everybody here knows who won the first fight.
Let me tell you one thing. I believe Canelo will knock him out.
Shot. Beautiful body shot. What a great left body shot.
Will he get up on that one? Will he get up?
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He's a veteran.
No, he doesn't.
Not this one.
Here we are, Bank of California Stadium. Doug, we just saw highlights from Ryan Garcia, who's going to be fighting
September
1st. out in Fantasy Springs in India, up-and-coming star for Golden Boy.
And they're putting him in tough. Carlos the Solution Morales. That's a difficult technician to look good against.
This is the second card that'll be on Facebook Watch. Great card last time, headlined by Jojo Diaz, and it was a nice undercard as well.
Oh, yeah.
On that fight, two undefeated
co-featured bout,
prospects.
2 undefeated prospects. Good style matchup, and I think we're going to have the same thing on September 1st.
These are great fights for free. Facebook Watch, be sure to check it out. And we've already checked out Gennady Golovkin making an appearance here, really embracing the moment, smiling and saying hello to the fans. Fans getting an opportunity to hear him. He had some harsh words for Canelo Alvarez. He still hasn't left. You can see him signing, giving away T-shirts. That's one of the big reasons why he's such a hit with fans, and not only his style and with the Latino fans. He's always gracious with his time and very humble.
And he appreciates that they came out and that they had to wait hours before they got a chance to see him.
You're exactly right there. I heard we have a poll coming here. Media workout poll. Who wins? Hashtag Canelo wins. Triple G wins.
Whoa.
Wow. At the moment, 67% say Triple G wins, with only 33% saying Canelo wins. Now, I don't know if this is on just because of the heels of seeing Triple G and they're hyped up and his fans are a little bit more fired up at the moment, but I'm surprised by that contrast. Because this time around, I see it being, we said a more violent fight, but also a more competitive fight, I think, too.
I think legitimately it's going to be a razor-thin, distant fight.
Right.
That is what I'm predicting.
And have you heard rumors of who possibly may be the judges, which there was a lot of controversy
The
last
judges
time?
were announced. They're all veteran judges. I can't remember the names.
Yes, but no Adelaide
right
Bird.
Now, no Adelaide Bird.
Okay,
no.
good.
No,
All
they want to
right.
avoid all controversy. The referee is a younger guy from the New Jersey area, Benji Esteves, and good for him getting this huge assignment. Yeah, it's about time for him. He's good.
It's a good opportunity.
And I can't think of any controversy attached to his name.
Great, good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, we're going to get a chance to see, before we see Canelo, one of the brightest young up-and-coming stars in boxing, Jaime Munguia from Tijuana, Mexico, border town of where I grew up in Chula Vista. There's Jaime winning the World Championship against Saddam Ali. And
you see how much bigger he is. Just his bone structure,
yes,
his musculature. Saddam Ali, somebody who started at 140, really a blown-up welterweight, in with a giant junior middleweight who could probably effectively fight on the world-class level at middleweight, and it was really no contest.
And that's why that we have weight classes, folks. Yep. And what a statement, though, on HBO to capture the title that way. I mean,
instantly going from a prospect to a top 5 contender and a world title holder. You don't see that very often. Munguia was Ring Magazine's Prospect of the Year for 2017.
And you can see why. A lot of buzz behind this kid. A lot of buzz.
Only 21 years old.
Only 21.
30-0.
30-0.
Yes, 30-0.
Wow. Yeah,
and that's a Mexican tradition right there.
Yes.
Turning pro early in your teens.
Yeah.
And really having this huge body of work by the time you're in your early 20s.
Well, that's a Mexican tradition in many ways, just starting young in many aspects of life. There he is. Like you mentioned, Doug, 2017, the Ring Magazine Prospect of the Year. Jaime Munguia embracing the moment. Coming out here with the LAFC colors, hometown, already with his hands wrapped.
Yep.
So
that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
Robert Alcazar, he knows this drill.
Robert Alcazar, for those of you just joining us, of course, the original trainer when Oscar De La Hoya made his debut on the professional scene. Jaime, of course, the current WBO super welterweight champion, or junior middleweight, whichever you prefer.
He weighs in at 154 pounds, and that's the only time he weighs 154 pounds, probably for a few hours on that Friday, and then by Saturday night when he steps in that ring, super middleweight, light heavyweight.
But hey, all the credit to him. All you got to do is hit the weight on the scale.
It's within the rules.
It's within the rules, and he's been able to do it. I don't know how much longer he'll be able to pull it off. Like we said, there was a couple of fights early we'd love to see him up against. Jared Hurd and one of the Charlo brothers, of course. Another good fight.
Absolutely.
But we'll see how it remains to be seen. There's Abel Sanchez giving his best to Jaime.
It's great that he's on this undercard.
Oh, great. Great.
And it's amazing, because he just defended his title in a tough 12-rounder against Liam Smith. What was that, like a month ago?
You're right, but, Doug, as you know, fighters used to have huge, long fights in weeks later.
That's true.
They go, so this is nice, and I think you can get away with a little bit more being 21 now.
Yeah.
I think that's how they're justifying it. He didn't suffer too much damage, but it was a good, tough fight, and he's here, and we know he's still in shape since it's only weeks before, or a couple months, I should say, until he steps back in there. But Jaime, excited that he's getting this opportunity. And talk a little bit about the guy he's going to be facing, Doug.
Yeah, Brandon Cook is a once-beaten fringe contender from Canada who he reminds me a lot of Liam Smith, but he's younger, maybe a little bit stronger, physically speaking. He's fresher, but it's the same attitude that Liam Smith, and the same style that Liam Smith. It's a very aggressive professional style, but he's not like totally reckless in there. So I think Munguia is going to get a lot of quality rounds out of this fight. It might go the distance.
Wow. Which, again, I think bodes well for him in his development, especially if you're predicting an eventual showdown with a Canelo or a Triple G later down. All right, right now, let's go to Roxy Diaz with the president of Golden Boy, Eric Gomez.
That's right, Mario. Thank you so much. I'm here with the president of Golden Boy Production, Eric Gomez. Eric, first and foremost, I want to know, how tough was it to get the negotiations for this fight across the finish line?
It was very tough, but, with any big fight, what matters most is both fighters wanted to fight each other.
What was the toughest part of the negotiations to you?
Dealing with Tom Loeffler.
Is Canelo an angry fighter going into this rematch?
Well, he's got added motivation. I mean, these guys talk so much shit, they're going to have to back it up now.
What do you think Canelo wants to prove in this rematch?
He wants to prove that he's the better fighter. He wants to prove that he's the top middleweight in the division, and at the same time, he wants to shut their mouth.
Let's talk a little bit about the co-event that's going to be happening, the co-main event that's going to be happening. I see Jaime right here. He's looking like a superstar already. Is this Mexico's next boxing superstar?
He's got a lot of potential. The sky's the limit with Jaime Munguia, and this is just the beginning.
I saw the rest of the undercards that are going to be there on September 15th. Can you talk a little bit about what's going to be happening? It's probably some of the best undercard fights that I've seen in a very long time.
This is from top to bottom the best card we've done in the last 10 years. So we're very excited, a little bit of everything. Chocolatito, a former pound-for-pound fighter. Then we have a must-watch fight. You can't miss it. Lemieux against O'Sullivan. And then you have Jaime Munguia, the future of boxing.
Love it. Eric, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Going to toss it right back up to you, Mario.
Yeah. What? Thank you, Roxy. President of Golden Boy there, Eric Gomez, seems very focused, and he's got his game face on. And like you said, Doug, that is a great card. I forgot about Chocolatito.
I know. What does that say?
Yeah, wow.
He's opening the pay-per-view broadcast. Ring Magazine's former #1 pound-for-pound fighter, a 4-division champion, and a modern legend out of Nicaragua. Another first ballot Hall of Famer.
Kudos to Golden Boy to put together a really stacked card. You get your money's worth there, aside from the wonderful main event.
And Chocolatito isn't in easy, which is saying something.
Right.
I mean, he's been away for a full year. His last fight, he was knocked out cold by Sri Saket Sorungvasai. His previous fight was that Fight of the Year candidate against Sorungvasai.
Right,
you were there in New York City.
Right.
That was a hard 12-rounder. We don't know what's left with Chocolatito.
Well,
he's fighting Moises Fuentes, which is not an easy fight.
And he retired for like a hot minute. And then quickly changed his mind. But you're right. And so Sorungvasai, I like that kid, and I thought, and I actually predicted that. I thought it was gonna, he was gonna be victorious again in the rematch.
Yeah, you did. You called it.
But Chocolatito, again, one of the best little men we've ever seen. We were talking about technique and fundamentals, and this guy just puts together his combination so beautifully. and feels he still has a little left in the tank. Well, we'll see. And he's always in great fights, and it's always great to see him perform. So for him to be able to open the card, that's exciting. You're going to want to get to the arena early, folks. You're going to want to order the pay-per-view and watch it from the get. So we've got Chocolatito, and then Lemieux and Spike O'Sullivan, I'm assuming, in order. And then possibly Jaime Munguia. And then, of course, our main event.
I think you're right. You know what? It doesn't matter the order. What matters is the style matchups, and those are all action fights.
Yeah, all right. That's going to be a fun night. And it's going to build to a crescendo. Meanwhile, Jaime Munguia.
Working that jab, that's what he needs more of.
Y lo rematas, eso bien, así nomás se la pones.
Passion there.
Bien.
You know, when you mentioned the jab, I thought in his last fight too, he's a little guilty of, again, falling in love with his power, and I thought he could have utilized that jab and maybe learn a little something from Golovkin as far as continuing to work behind it, because I think he would have set up his power shots a little bit better, but was anxious, I think, to make a statement and get his guy out of there. But he, I think, is, going to continue to improve, and we've said it again, only 21, but
bien, Jaime, ritmo.
Let's see what some fans are saying right now.
Todo bien.
Julian Johnson says, way better than PBC card with guys running out of the ring and some East Long Beach, California Wind Boulevard Bill fighting Russell.
He's talking about that heavyweight.
Right.
He said to heck with it. I ain't fighting, man.
Yeah, the guy that just when you thought you saw All Out Boxing, I never seen it. Have you seen that before?
No, that's a first.
Wait, he left right before it started, right?
Yeah.
See, I thought maybe the guy had to use the bathroom or something.
That was the only you gotta go, you gotta go.
When you got, I guess, but you gotta factor that in.
Yeah, I heard it was a money issue.
Was it a money issue?
Yeah.
I was kind of late to do that, to pull that move, though. I don't know if he should be ever licensed again to fight.
I don't know, yeah.
See, the money issue, I'm not going to quote. He should have gone with the bathroom issue. That would have been a little more forgivable, I think.
Yeah.
The money issue, come on. You knew the money before you walked in there, buddy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jaime Munguia looks like he's really going to put in a serious workout.
Yeah. He's just loosening up. Maybe he'll hit some mitts. I mean, his hands are wrapped, so I imagine they're going to put some gloves on, and maybe he'll do one round of mitts or something. He's athletic, though.
He is.
I heard, he's from Tijuana, and he's a forward marching crusher. So people have compared him to Margarito, but he's more athletic than Margarito was.
He is a little more athletic and a little more on his toes for sure. He's not a plotter. Tim DeWalt says, hats off to Golden Boy for putting together this amazing card. Yeah, you're right, Tim. Really going next level with this card.
It's a kind of pay-per-view card where you invite a lot of people over and you have a party, because fights like this add to a festive atmosphere.
You're exactly right. Perfect reason to have a party and celebrate. Triple G still hanging out, still working it, signing autographs. This is great. Giving back to the fans. Look at that. Gennady Golovkin. See, one of the many reasons why he's beloved.
How tall do you think Munguia is? Is he 6 foot? 6'1"?
Yeah, he's listed at 6 feet and a half, I believe. He seems even to be a little taller when you stand next to him.
Yeah, he seems taller than 6 foot. First time I saw him, I was impressed by his speed.
Right.
Now that was a fight that I think it was in December in Vegas, and I think it went 2 rounds. So I didn't get to see a lot of him. So we really learned more about him with the Liam Smith fight. And that's the great thing about going the distance against a rugged, savvy veteran like Smith. I did notice in the final rounds, I think fatigue set in a little bit, and the technique fell off a little bit. He was slapping with his punches.
Yeah.
And learning how to hold his form better when you're going, you're down the stretch of a distance fight. That's going to be something that he needs to do.
Well, every fight had, every punch had bad intentions, and they were coming with a lot of power. He did. He came out a little strong, a little aggressive. And you mentioned Margarito earlier. I mean, he's a big, strong guy and looks too big for his weight class. And similar to Margarito, both from Tijuana. But I do agree he is more athletic.
and I think the hand speed is a lot better.
And I think he had more of an amateur background than Margarito did. I think Margarito is really learning on the job as soon as he went pro.
Exactly. He's getting his gloves on, so not
When he
wasting
hits
too
the
much
mitts.
time there.
Just like Abel Sanchez, Robert Alcazar is very good holding those mitts. And he holds them in a very precise manner. It's not showy.
No,
not patty cake.
No, exactly. Not patty cake. Old school, effective methods. He's got those winning gloves on. Great for the hands. Do we know what gloves were agreed upon for the main event, by the way?
There's a little bit of controversy about that because I heard Canelo wants to wear his own brand. The Reynosos have their own brand of gloves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting.
Interesting. Well, Jesse says, does Jaime fight the winner of Triple G? We put quadruple G in this one versus Canelo. I think eventually he does. Not next.
He does not have next. You know, there are guys, whoever wins this fight, they're going to have sanctioning body mandatories to take care of.
Right.
Number one or mandatory in the WBC is Jamal Charlo.
Correct.
And he's a fan favorite. People would like to see that fight. And that's Jamal versus Triple G or Canelo in Texas is a huge fight.
Yes.
There's the winner of the Billy Joe Saunders, Demetrius Andrade fight. Because that guy will have a belt,
right.
The WBO title.
Right.
There's the guy from Japan who I think he is the mandatory for the WBA.
Big star, too.
Huge star in Tokyo.
Yes.
Yeah, he was an Olympic champion.
To be honest, I'm all about events, and I love this type of event. You can celebrate it. I think it transcends. To see a fight in Tokyo would be great.
Any excuse to travel to Tokyo,
right?
I'll take it, man.
Guillermo says Munguia still has to develop, then you'll have a chance at the top guys. Well, you're right, Guillermo. I think we were talking about that. I think he's got a high ceiling, though, and he's definitely on his way. He is a champion, so I don't think he gets soft touches.
No.
But at the same time, to be at the Canelo Triple G level.
No, he's not there yet. See, I don't think he's ready for the top dogs at 154 pounds.
No, you're
I don't
right.
know if he's ready for Arislandi Lara, Jermell Charlo, or Jarrett Hurd.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready. Not yet. You know what? Maybe in about a year he will be.
Well, in about a year, here that becomes then a dilemma of sorts, because in about a year he may be up to middleweight. So would you rather see him face those guys maybe before he's ready, quote unquote?
Yes, I would.
Then, right? I'd rather see him face those guys a little soon.
If there's the opportunity in 6 months, I hope he takes it.
Exactly. Oh, and here we go. Wow, those are some big mitts.
They are. Well, you got to protect your
Those are some oversized mitts.
Yeah.
Ahí va, hazlo. Hazlo, diviértete, hazlo, vamos, hazlo, Jaime. Eso, hazlo. Hazlo. Hazlo.
But you can hear the sound of those punches. Jaime definitely heavy-handed. You can see him on his toes. You normally don't see heavy-handed guys with so much bounce, Doug. They don't necessarily have to be plotters, but they're a little more meticulous with their movement and conservative, the way Gennady Golovkin is, Margarito, who we said earlier,
right.
But he
loves to be on his toes. I like that he can move a little bit.
Right.
And I like the pivots.
Toda la noche. Eso.
That's a nice looking jab.
Those are some nice, crisp combinations. Saul saying I was undecided about ordering the pay-per-view, but now that I'm finding out about Munguia and Chocolatito being on the undercard, I'm ordering the pay-per-view for show. That's right, Saul. Get some buddies, come over, get a little carne asada going.
Yeah, you're getting quality for your money.
Yeah, you really are.
Money's worth with this card.
It's a great, fun Saturday night.
And unlike some shows, it's not like the main event is going to disappoint. This won't disappoint.
No, you're exactly. No, this one will deliver. Jaime Munguia really putting in more of a workout.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to shake out real quick, wave to the crowd. And
he's going 3 rounds in here.
He wants his time in the spotlight. And you know what? Who knows? In 18 months to 24 months, you know, he'll be filling arenas. He'll have his fans, and people will say, hey, I remember watching him before the Triple G Canelo rematch when he wasn't as big, when he wasn't a star, when he was still coming up the ladder.
Well, he's great opportunities that he's been given, starting with the Ali fight, and he took full advantage of that and really made a big splash coming on the scene, becoming champ, and now being busy. And we're getting him to see him fight on a more consistent basis. That's exactly the recipe for building a star.
I guarantee you he will fight again after September 15th. And I predict he will fight in the Los Angeles area.
Before the end of the year?
I think after September 15th, I think he'll fight again. I think he gets at least 7 fights in this year. And if he keeps that same pace going into 2019, you know, he'll be ready. He'll be ready for anybody.
No, I agree.
That active. And we haven't seen that with world title holders in a couple decades. I remember Oscar a couple years in the 90s. In 1995, I think he fought 4 times. 1997, he fought 5 times. I remember 1998, Shane Mosley fought 5 times.
Yes.
I remember when James Toney and Julio Cesar Chavez would fight 6 times a year. Now, like maybe 3 or 4 would be non-title fights, but they were still pound-for-pound level guys fighting that often.
And that's a big reason why they stayed so sharp, looked so good.
Yes.
Never dulled. Yeah, fighting keeps you actually fighting in the ring. Fights itself. Keep you sharp. Keep the fighter from getting complacent, not being overweight. Munguia got a decent little workout. Now taking some pictures. Embracing the moment. Enjoying the fans here. All right, let's bring in Roxy Diaz. Roxy.
We're getting him in a minute. Right now, taking pictures, having fun with some of the fans. Ya están listos. Listo. Vaya pues. Jaime, we want to know, how excited are you to be fighting as the co-event underneath the Canelo and Triple G fight?
Pues la verdad estoy muy emocionado, muy contento, motivado de estar en esta gran cartelera, de poderle brindar un gran espectáculo a todos los mexicanos y a todos los que me siguen, a toda la gente de Los Ángeles. Un saludo para todos.
I'm very excited to participate in the spectacular co-main event and to be able to give a good fight to all my fans and to everyone here.
What is it that you hope to show on the night of the fight?
Pues yo quiero mostrar los avances que tuvimos en nuestro campo de preparación, lo que nos hizo falta la vez pasada. No es una justificación, pero me voy a ver mucho mejor que la vez pasada y no se pierdan mi pelea porque les prometo una gran pelea.
We're going to demonstrate in this fight all the advancements that we made, all the things that need to be changed, and I promise everyone not to miss my fight because it's going to be great.
Are you Mexico's next superstar?
Sí, si así es, si Dios quiere, la verdad yo me siento muy contento de representar al boxeo, de representar a mi México y a todos los fanáticos del boxeo.
If that's what God wants, then so be it. I'm just happy to represent Mexico, my people, and everyone here. I'm a boxing fans.
Everybody wants to know, are you going to be sitting and watching the Triple G and Canelo fight after your fight?
Sí, claro que sí, si tengo la oportunidad, claro que me encantaría estar viendo Canelo contra Golovkin 2.
Absolutely. If I've given the opportunity, I would love to watch the fight between Canelo and Triple G.
I got this next one. ¿Quién pensás que va a ganar la pelea?
La verdad, va a ser una pelea muy cerrada porque los dos ya se tienen como odio, entonces no sé, yo pienso que tal vez podría ser knockout por cualquiera de los dos.
He thinks it's going to be a knockout between whichever the two because they have a lot of animosity and hate between them. What would you like to say to all the fans that are in attendance today? ¿Qué quisieras decirle a toda la gente que está aquí viéndote a ti hoy?
Pues que muchas gracias a todos por su apoyo, no se pierdan mi pelea, les prometo una gran y excelente pelea, como siempre se las he brindado, de mucha acción. ¡Viva México y viva todos los que me vienen a apoyar! ¡Ánimo!
Thank you to everyone here. Thank you to everyone who's going to be watching my fight and supporting me. ¡Viva México!
Thank you so much. Mario, back to you upstairs.
Thank you, Roxy. You know, well spoken. We were just talking, Doug. He's a humble kid. All the success he's had at such an early age, he seems mature enough to be able to handle it. And I think the fans really appreciate that he remains humble.
Yeah, that's definitely going to appeal with
especially
traditional
the Mexican
fans.
Yes.
Absolutely, because the Mexican greats of the past, they kicked a lot of ass in the ring, but outside of the ring, they were just like everybody else, and they were very grounded.
Yes, you're exactly right. You know, and a couple of highlights here from his workout and side to side from next to Triple G.
Yeah,
very
Triple
similar.
G more power,
yes,
and a little more of a finesse game from Munguia.
He's got that man strength too.
Yes, he does.
He's got that older sort of man strength with that. Which, by the way, Munguia, as strong as he is, he hasn't even hit that real man strength yet. He's still got time there, a good another 8 years, I'd say.
Yeah, we may not see the best of Munguia until he's 24, 25 years old.
Right. I mean...
And he'll have over 50 fights by then.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, at this rate.
I like it.
And let's hope so. He's getting those hand wraps off, and I'm sure he'll greet his fans and really soak up the moment. That little split screen too could be a future pay-per-view event.
Well, you know, this was a fight that was talked about when the May 5 date fell out for Canelo versus Golovkin.
And they thought it was
Golovkin wanted to stay in Vegas, and they were thinking about doing a smaller pay-per-view, and they wanted a Mexican opponent because of Cinco de Mayo. Munguia's name was pulled from the hat. The Nevada Athletic Commission didn't sanction that. They didn't approve him. It all worked out for the young man because then he got the shot at the WBO title against Saddam Ali.
You're right. I think it would have been a fun fight, but would have done him as a disservice in the long run. You can't feed steak to a baby.
Right.
And I'm glad things worked out the way they did. Let's go to break right now, and we'll come back with Canelo Alvarez.
Que teníamos, pelear en medio del ring. En ocasiones me dio la pauta para poder estar en las cuerdas también. Y pues hicimos lo que teníamos que hacer, lo que teníamos planeado hacer para la pelea.
It's impossible to knock somebody out when he fights the fight not to be knocked out. But everybody here knows who won the first fight.
Let me tell you one thing. I believe Canelo will knock him out.
Body shot.
Beautiful body shot. What a great left body shot.
Will he get up from that one? Will he get up?
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He's a veteran.
No, he doesn't.
Not this one.
Shot of beautiful downtown LA, and it's a gorgeous night here at the Bank of California Stadium, home to the Los Angeles Football Club, and we are at the media workout for Canelo versus Triple G, round 2. And people are really excited to be here and get a glimpse of their fighter, who already have their game face on. And we've seen Triple G, and he came out with some pretty serious words towards Canelo and Jaime Munguia. Right now, though, let's go to our Roxy Diaz in the ring. Hey, Roxy.
Really, I'm standing here with a man that needs no introduction when it comes to the boxing world. Everybody, please make some noise for Oscar de la Hoya. Oscar, what do you think Canelo has to prove in this rematch?
Canelo has to go out there and knock him out. Point blank. He has to go out there from the first bell and knock out Triple G.
Why do you think that this rematch is a bigger deal than the first match?
Well, because of all the smack that's been talked from Triple G's side, I think Canelo is now saying that he really wants to hurt and knock out Triple G. It's the first time I ever hear Canelo say that about an opponent, and I believe him. I believe there will be a knockout.
When you've seen Canelo in his training in action, what do you think that he's doing differently? What is the new strategy going into the rematch?
It's brute strength, power, pushing back his opponent, moving forward. We don't want to see a decision. We want to see a knockout. That's what we want to see.
What would you like to tell all the fans that are here in the arena, everybody that is looking forward to September 15th?
On September 15th, not only will we witness Canelo knock out Triple G, but we will be celebrating el 15 de septiembre. ¡Que viva México!
Thank you so much, Oscar. Mario, back to you upstairs.
Thank you, Roxy. Well, we're with Gennady's promoter at the moment. Tom Loeffler joins Doug Fisher and I, a.k.a. Calm Loeffler. Never want to play poker with you, Tom. You, sir, always remain cool no matter what. And were you as cool during this process of putting this fight together? Were we ever in danger of not seeing it on this date?
I'll tell you, Mario, we were in big danger, unfortunately. I thought this fight was too big not to happen, but Canelo dug in his heels on his split. Triple G was set on his split, and then Eric and I were going back and forth and go around in circles, and the deadline came and went. It was literally dead for about an hour. Then Eric called me back, said I talked to Oscar. They had one last proposal, which I knew Triple G, that was what he was looking for, and that's what made the fight happen.
Well, kudos to you to make it happen, and Gennady really seemed to just enjoy and embrace this moment. He was here for the longest time, signing.
And the thing was, just to go back to the negotiation, he was in Moscow for the World Cup. Hublot invited him for the opening ceremonies, so I was negotiating with Eric, and he's in Moscow, Canelo's in Mexico, and that was hard, but this was a great event. You saw he was signing autographs for the fans, great reaction, great turnout here for both Canelo and Triple G, and I think this will be a tremendous event on the 15th.
And what Doug and I were trying to figure out, was there an issue or a concern about the gloves themselves? Was that agreed upon on the style of gloves?
For the fight coming up?
Correct.
We just got a notice yesterday from the Nevada Commission that Triple G's going to wear his gloves that he normally wears a Grand, and I guess Canelo wanted to wear a new brand of gloves that they were developing, and the commission didn't want it to be the very first fight that particular brand of gloves was going to be worn. So I think they have to go back to a conventional brand. That's the latest that I understood.
So that might be some controversy, but as far as the officials are concerned, the 3 judges and the referee that's been selected for this rematch, are you and Team Triple G happy with the selection?
Yeah, there was never a question. You know, we got to give the Nevada Commission a lot of credit and Bob Bennett in selecting the officials. There was never a question with the judges that they were proposing, and with the referee. Both sides are happy.
The referee is Benji Esteves.
Benji Esteves, yeah.
And he's a veteran from New Jersey, a good young guy who's a former boxer, which I like.
Then Dave Moretti from Nevada is one of the judges.
Yeah.
Then Glenn Feldman,
right?
I think from Connecticut, I believe. And then
Steve Weisfeld.
I believe.
These are all veterans.
New Jersey.
Solid team right there. Well,
so there's no controversy going into the fight. Hopefully there's no controversy after the fight, but we just want, both sides, we just want the focus to be on the fighters in the ring.
Thank you so much for joining us, my friend. We'll see you out there September 15th.
Long time no
okay. Well, we've seen Triple G, we've seen Jaime Munguia, and now we're getting ready to see Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
Me dio la pauta para poder estar en las cuerdas también. Pues hicimos lo que teníamos que hacer, lo que teníamos planeado hacer para la pelea.
He created the massive rip. He started the boxing world and he dominated the fight.
Gané 7-8 rounds de la pelea fácil.
Amo lo que hago y quiero dejar en el boxeo bien marcado quién es el Canelo, y para mí esta pelea es muy importante. Es una pelea que tiene mucho porcentaje de terminar por nocaut.
There he is, Saúl Canelo Alvarez. Coming out. Mixed reaction, a little action.
Yeah, it's mostly an ovation, but there's some boos in there, and that's coming from the Triple G fans.
I mean, Triple G definitely has his loyal supporters, both of them passionate fan bases, but the thing about Canelo is he's never ducked anyone. He's faced guys when he hasn't needed to necessarily, took on
dangerous guys like Landy Lara, Austin Trout when Trout was coming off that victory over Miguel
Mayweather.
Yeah, these guys were undefeated.
Right.
Very athletic boxers on top of their game, difficult styles, and he faced them. And he faced some guys who were bruisers like James Kirkland. You know what I like about Canelo, and you see it with Triple G, is when they're not 100%, they deal with it. They deal with adversity very well.
True champions.
Yeah, against Liam Smith, 2016 in Texas, he hurt his hand. Yeah, I think he hurt his left hand, as a matter of fact. And so he was fighting one-handed, and he found a way to not only defeat Liam Smith, but stop Smith. Yes. He did it with body shots.
Yeah, credit to Canelo. Like I said, he's always taken on any opponent that they've mentioned, and he's always wanted to fight the best. And he wanted this rematch. I believe he wanted it the first time. You know, there's always so much politics, promoters, and negotiations. We heard Tom Loeffler. It takes a minute to put a fight of this magnitude together, but...
Well, he's the first star to step up. He's the first fighter who was more popular and better known than Golovkin to step up and fight Golovkin. Because they couldn't get fights done against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. They couldn't get Carl Froch. And there were so many world-class middleweights that just wanted no part of him, going back to Felix Sturm back in Germany. Chris Eubank Jr. didn't want that fight. Billy Joe Saunders wants the fight now, but a couple years ago, not so much, you know. So, you know, kudos to Canelo. And before Canelo, it was Danny Jacobs, and they kind of burst the bubble. They kind of stepped up last year, and they were in competitive fights with Golovkin. And the rest of the boxing world, mainly the middleweight division, saw that, hey, he was a human. You know, he's not going to kill everybody. And so now everyone's calling out Triple G, which is a good thing.
It is a good thing. And even at that fight, which I was lucky enough to attend in New York, I thought he won that fight clearly. He dropped Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs made a good showing for himself. But like we mentioned earlier, that's what happens with elite fighters. And we had two, not only elite fighters, but the two best middleweights in the world going up against each other with Canelo and Triple G. And for a second time, too, here's Steven Zozobra Palenko, which says Canelo by KO.
So if you're a hardcore fan of either Golovkin or Canelo, it's not enough to say, my guy's going to win. You have to say, my guy's going to knock him out. That's how strongly you feel about it. That's how passionate you are.
Statement too. Yes, Francisco Herrera says
it's not out of the realm of possibility. It really isn't. But realistically, I see another hotly contested 12-round battle, but more entertaining.
I do think it's going to be a more entertaining fight. Both fighters like to stand their ground and exchange in very smart exchanges. They're not out there just throwing punches to throw it and letting leather fly and overwhelming you with just a volume of punches for overwhelming's sake. They're pretty calculated. They're both smart fighters. Different styles, but styles that complement each other. Canelo looking in tremendous shape, by the way. He wasn't too much over the 30-day weight.
You know what? He was actually lighter than Golovkin. At the WBC's 30-day out weigh-in, he was 167 pounds. So he was inside the super middleweight.
El Larry está bien cagado.
Yes.
Te dio y se fue a la todo volteando.
Saul Canelo Alvarez warming up. Doug, he already looks in fantastic shape. I mean, we've already talked about how hard he trains. I heard he started camp really early. Some really tough sparring partners they brought in. The camp was a closed camp. There's Eddie Reynoso Jr. doing some more new school methods with the pool noodles.
Yeah. But the pool noodles are good for a boxer like Canelo because his game is all about slip and counter. And he prides himself on his head and his upper body movement. So the noodles, they encourage movement. They encourage bobbing and weaving and stepping over to the side. And that's exactly what Canelo needs against Golovkin. And I like that you see the big thighs, the big legs. He was born with those. That's where his power comes from. That's where the physical strength and the leverage comes from. But I like that his upper body is more trimmed down for this fight than it was for the first one and against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
And you just saw a little flash of combos. Those hands are looking really, really fast.
I think speed and fluidity is more important for Canelo than power.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that's very smart of his camp to train for that. Those strong legs, too, also big reason his defense is so good with the bobbing and weaving. He's able to do it for a full 12 rounds. You rarely see Canelo take clean shots on a consistent basis.
But, you know, making a fighter miss can be as discouraging to that opponent as hitting him. And to a guy like Golovkin, who can take as hard as a punch that you can deliver right on the chin, and he'll still keep marching forward, it might be better just to make him with air. Make him miss, but just make him pay more than you did in the first fight.
Which I think he will let his hands go more in this fight. He looks faster. I think his confidence is going to be at an all-time high. We talked about him having something to prove. I think it's going to be a real career-making performance for Canelo, who's already had so many highlights in his career.
It's really kind of amazing that he was fighting guys like Sugar Shane Mosley 6-7 years ago.
Showing little flashes of that hand speed.
Yeah, and these are drills that encourage speed and fluidity and volume, too.
Right, and he looks sharp. I got to tell you, he looks razor sharp. Great shape. And if this is a glimpse of what we're going to see as far as his approach,
I think it is.
Then
that head needs to be moving. He needs to be thinking about slipping the jab and countering it at all times, because that's the bread and butter punch of Golovkin. So if you can discourage him on that punch, if you can come up with a solution to that jab, you've won half the battle.
Well, Triple G is going to be needing to rely on that jab to time not only Canelo and set up his punches, but to slow down that aggressive head movement and really triple up on it, maybe even quadruple up on it, and just constantly pump it like a piston, because that's going to be a hard man to time with your combinations. Triple G, if he's making any adjustments to his attack, pumping that jab and attacking the body is definitely going to have to be implemented. Right now, though, let's go to our Roxy Diaz. Roxy, take it away.
Hey guys, right now, here with what is the most important part of this fight. The fans right now are showing all their love. So we got so many different fans from all over. Anthony, you tell me, who do you have September 15th to win the fight?
I got Canelo winning the fight. He's just gonna go ahead and do what he do best and just knock him out.
So you're predicting a knockout for September 15th?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. What else do we have more Canelo fans over here? What are we doing?
Canelo Alvarez! Canelo! Canelo! Canelo!
I am surrounded by Canelo fans. Oh, I don't know if we have any Triple G. Triple G, baby.
Triple G, baby, all day.
The pride is amazing. The intensity is amazing. September 15th is going to be absolutely amazing. Mario, back to you.
Thank you. Meanwhile, Canelo looking very intense with his punches on the pillow bag. We keep calling it.
That's what I call it.
Yeah, I mean,
we saw the finesse and the head movement and the speed and fluidity and the footwork with the pool noodles, and now we're seeing what happens when he plants his feet and aims power shots.
And that's really, he's really displaying in these last few minutes what a complete fighter he is. Defensively, the speed, and now the power. Some of the same big hooks, same double hooks and right hands that Triple G was showing, Canelo showing equally.
And so he's going to need a perfect blend of these two boxing styles to defeat Triple G.
And that's
meaning, like, I'm not saying he switches from finesse to power. I mean the finesse and the power have to come together as one, like James Toney.
That's sort of his style anyway. He's got to be able to execute that, though, on a consistent basis if he wants to be victorious. And
like, these have to be his counter punches. When he makes Triple G miss, he needs to stay in the pocket, and this needs to be the quality of those counters, and he needs to aim them towards the midsection as much, if not more, than the chin.
I was surprised, too, in the first fight how much he allowed himself to be against the ropes, to be honest. He was very elusive there. Triple G didn't take advantage and go to the body as much. But I think
he countered well. He nailed
counter
Triple G
well
with some good uppercuts off those ropes.
Steven Polanco says Canelo's going to prepare a nice retirement party for Triple G. Ricardo Cadena Mata says hashtag Team Canelo. So we're hearing from a lot of the Canelo fans. I'm curious to see what the poll's at right now. We had it 67%.
I bet it evens out, which is, I think the official odds by fight week, I think they're going to be even.
Yeah, I'm curious to see.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo becomes a slight favorite by Friday or Saturday morning.
What was it
late money?
Fight, Doug?
I think it was slightly for like 8-5 for Triple G.
Triple G first fight. Yeah, it was very close. Canelo really getting in a workout as opposed to the other fighters, and him being the A side here. He's taking full advantage of the time in the ring and putting in some real work. He did about 2-3 rounds straight there.
And he's not breathing heavy, is he?
No.
All right.
You never see him out of shape.
That's a good sign.
You know, like I said, he's a great champion. He continues to work hard. He embraces the responsibility. He's a young guy who's responsible. You never hear stories of him with having bad camps.
And like Triple G, he stayed loyal to his team. He's had the same people around him his entire career since he was a child.
You're right, the Reynosos. Yeah, and they've done a great job with him. They really have. He's continued to improve. Some people are concerned that he might have plateaued a couple years back, but he really has continued to show improvement each time out. So yeah, the Reynosos, who are like family to him. Hashtag Canelo wins if you think he's taking it. Here's our poll. It's a little closer. It's a little closer. Triple G still ahead by a substantial margin, 58% to Canelo, 42%. And I'm surprised by that, Doug.
I am too.
And Canelo going back to work.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to see him do is work a power jab against that double-handled pillow head.
You're exactly right.
I wanted to see more of a stiff jab from Canelo in that first fight. Because he's got a really good jab. He's never been consistent with it. In part because he hasn't had to be.
It's a fast jab. It is, and it's a stiff jab. Like you said, he usually likes to counter off of him, but he doesn't set it up the way Triple G does to set up a lot of his shots.
I seem to remember him scoring some knockdowns with the jab on his way up.
No, you're right, and he seems to have, maybe because his defense has gotten better and his counterpunching has gotten better, he hasn't relied on it so much, but yeah, it could come in handy here. I think the hand speed is the key and will be the factor in this second fight. Father-son team with Canelo.
Yeah, they've been in the game before the Alvarez family, before they were introduced to Canelo. They had developed world champions out of Guadalajara, like Oscar Larios, who was a junior featherweight and featherweight champion. Fought Manny Pacquiao in the Philippines at junior lightweight. Yeah, had a really good career. And a lightweight title holder named Javier Jauregui. But Canelo is their masterpiece. No doubt about that.
Absolutely, and you know, I admire Canelo for being incredibly loyal. I'm sure he was tugged many different ways, but it's worked out well for him, and you don't see a lot of loyalty in boxing, but he's shown it. Mario Truch says, hashtag Canelo wins again. First fight, of course, ended in a draw.
All you people with these comments about Canelo winning, go vote for your man.
Exactly. Chamberlain Owen, hashtag Triple G wins. Meanwhile, Canelo throwing some vicious combinations.
And these are punches that will get respect from Golovkin. Golovkin will not just stand there and take shots from these type of power shots from Canelo. The way he stood and traded with the smaller Kell Brook or the lighter punching Willie Monroe Jr. Against a guy who's as strong and accurate as Canelo and as quick as Canelo is. This kind of power display will cause Triple G to take a back step.
I think,
but whenever Triple G takes a back step, he comes right back with that jab, with power.
He was taking some monster shots and kept coming forward, but I think that's why maybe he was a little reluctant to go to the body, or for those quick counters, those sharp counters, I should say. But I think he knows that may have betrayed him a little bit, and that is his bread and butter. He may have to eat a couple more to be effective down there. And to slow him down, we don't know if we'll see Canelo maybe as fleet of foot. He looks faster, like we said, with his hand speed. Foot speed, we'll see what remains to be seen if he takes the same tactic. He continues to work out, Doug. This is by far the longest workout.
Yeah. He wants to give, he's been incognito for some months, so maybe he's making up for lost time. And again, this is his way of acknowledging his fans and showing appreciation, giving them an extended workout.
Julio Cesar says Canelo looks faster. He looks more powerful and fluid. Triple G is the same old dog with no new tricks. Good at what he does, but he's going to come short come September 15th. Viva Mexico. I agree, Julio, that Canelo does look faster and he does look more fluid. As far as Triple G having his same old tricks, well, those tricks are pretty damn good, though.
Yeah, I heard somebody say he's one-dimensional, and I say, well, that one dimension is one hell of a dimension, because we're talking about a guy who's been middleweight champion for almost 8 years.
Right, and listen.
And that doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen, no.
And there's a debate about how many title defenses Triple G has, but whether you feel he's ready to surpass Bernard Hopkins or that he has 5 title defenses less than that, if he has 15 title defenses, that's still more than marvelous Marvin Hagler and the great Carlos Monzon made. That's incredible. He's in all-time great company in terms of his statistics.
All-time great, and I'd put him in the ring with all those all-time
So would I.
And
those would be good fights.
Great fights. You don't necessarily have to be incredibly flashy to be effective, and I think Triple G is one of those guys that just sort of does everything right, and he looks fundamental in there, but man, it's coming with such power and precision that it just works.
Marvin Hagler was no different.
Exactly. Another great example right there. Now, but to your credit, Julio Cesar, I believe, was the guy who made that last comment. Canelo does seem to look a little more fluid in there and faster. He is at his peak physically right now, in his prime. I forget his age is how old, Doug?
He just turned 28.
28. Now that is your peak man strength.
Absolutely.
Right there. So he is at his full man strength. So young. He's already had such a great career for being such a young guy.
He has the experience of 52 professional bouts and a lot of championship bouts.
A lot of championship. And he's not a guy who's been through, he's been in great fights, but not necessarily wars where it's taken a toll on his
Right.
body.
You've never seen him beat up.
No, and that's a credit to his great defense and his pedigree. We've seen him do the pool noodles, work the mitts. He's shadowboxing with his gloves on.
And I give guys like Canelo a lot of credit because he's in that elite boxer category, and he's up here. He's going toe-to-toe with guys like Golovkin. He's defeating fighters like Miguel Cotto. He's in there with guys like Mayweather. Listen, Mayweather, Cotto, Golovkin, we're talking about Olympians.
Olympians, Hall of Famers,
We're
future
talking
Hall of
about
Famers.
first ballot future Hall of Famers. We're talking about guys who had a lot of amateur experience.
Right.
Canelo didn't.
You're right.
It's very rare. We don't see it very often that a fighter who didn't have an extensive amateur background come in and compete with fighters like Erislandy Lara, who was a world amateur champion, the captain of the fabled Cuban amateur boxing squad.
That says a lot.
To get in there and compete with these guys, that says so much.
Trout at the point when he fights
Absolutely. Trout had an extensive amateur career. It's like, what's the guy's name? Terrence Crawford. I mean, he's up there in that pound-for-pound category, top 3 even, but he wasn't an Olympian.
No,
and that says a lot about these guys.
Well, he's one of my favorites too,
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford, who you're exactly right.
And a good all-around fighter.
And by the way, coming from Nebraska too, what kind of sparring can you get in Nebraska?
Right.
Which makes it even more impressive.
It does.
That he's able to
It really does.
fight at that level.
I wish he was a little bit heavier so he could be fighting these guys.
Yeah, right. Well, he's still got a lot of good guys in his weight class.
Yeah, no
We're
doubt
going to see
about
some
it.
potential fights down the line there. It's been back and forth now with people predicting either Canelo or Triple G winning that fight. Saul now taking off his wraps. Never took off the shirt, by the way. Never took off. We know he's in shape.
He's modest.
He's being modest. He's got some new ink.
Where is the new ink?
The new ink's on the back.
I see. Do you know what it is?
It's some like a philosophical quote. It's in English, which surprised me. Wouldn't that surprise you?
All right, if you're going to get ink in English, you need to start speaking
Well, that's
English
my
more.
point. That's why it was so surprising.
Because he could do it, by the way.
He understands really
I
well,
know.
too. Yeah, he's keeping it, I think, 100, as the kids say.
Yeah.
With
But I
his,
think if he wanted to, he could speak English. I think maybe he's a perfectionist in that. He doesn't want to speak broken English.
Right,
But I
think
bet you his English is a little bit better than Golovkin's.
Yeah, I think it'd be endearing. I mean, I hope he gives us a little. We'll see. Let's go to Roxy now, who's with the champ. Go ahead, Roxy.
All right, guys. The moment of truth, the moment that we've all been waiting for right now. I'm standing here with Canelo. Canelo, are we going to see a different you on September 15th?
Sí, sin duda, ¿no? Todo lo que ha llevado esta pelea, en torno a esta pelea, sin duda verán otro Canelo, ¿no? Un Canelo con ganas de noquear, con ganas de salir a noquear, y creo que será muy, muy diferente.
Absolutely, absolutely. All the hard work, everything we've been doing in training, you're going to see a different Canelo. You're going to see a Canelo that's hungry for the knockout and that's going to go out there to look for the knockout.
Do you think that the only way to shut people up who think that you did not win the last fight is by knocking out Triple G?
Yo creo que es la mejor manera de poder demostrar que soy mejor que él con un knockout, y voy a tratar desde el primer asalto, voy a salir a hacerlo.
I think that's the best way to prove it. That's the best way to show everyone that I'm a better fighter than he is. And as soon as that bell rings for the first round, that's what is on my mind. That's what I'm going to go out there to do, to start looking for the knockout.
Why is this fight so personal to you now?
No, obviamente se hizo una rivalidad natural por todo lo que han hablado, todo lo que han dicho. Pero como siempre digo, ¿no? Las palabras salen siempre sobrando arriba del cuadrilátero, y el 15 de septiembre ahí es donde hay que callar bocas.
Look, this became a bigger rivalry because of everything that's been said, everything that they've said against me and towards me. But look, I've always said the words in the ring don't matter, because come September 15th, I'm going to knock them out.
Your speed in the ring looks really good. And your left hook looks like something you've been working on. Is that something you've been working on?
Sí, no, la velocidad es muy importante en esta pelea y yo soy el que tiene la velocidad y tengo potencia. Creo que en la primera pelea me di cuenta que puedo noquearlo y voy a hacerlo.
Yes, absolutely. Speed is very important in this upcoming fight. And one thing I learned from the first fight, that I can hurt him and I can beat him. And that's what I'm going to do on this one.
What would you like to say to all your fans that are here watching right now?
No, simplemente gracias a toda la gente por estar aquí. Gracias. Espero el 15 de septiembre. Disfruten de una gran pelea. Muchas gracias a todos. Gracias.
I want to thank everybody for being here, for all the love and support. And enjoy the fight September 15th. I'll see you all there. Thank you.
Back to you, Mario. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roxy. We've seen Canelo work out. He looks in tremendous shape, look extremely focused and well prepared. He seems very relaxed too, Doug, like in a good place mentally. He not too overwhelmed with all the drama that came with it.
Right, and that was a question.
Yeah.
That is a question going into this rematch. Did all this controversy affect his confidence? But he seems like typical Canelo to me.
He does, just, you know, always a professional, and I think both fighters are obviously well prepared. They look good today. If it's a little tease of the action we're going to get, man, I cannot wait for September 15th.
Yeah, they look good physically. They seem good mentally. They seem loose and relaxed in front of their fans. But when the subject of their rival comes up, they're very intense.
Right.
And they have very strong words for the other.
Right, no, they're completely authentic in their feelings. There's no love loss here. Canelo showing a little of his reaction and speed time with the pool noodles and that bobbing and weaving and those quick hands and throwing those quick combinations. And then we got to see a look at some of the power in those hooks and uppercuts.
I like that sort of uppercut hook hybrid.
Right.
That's a good shot.
That old school De La Hoya sort of 45-degree shot.
Good shot.
Ooh. And those are hard and fast, Doug. Doubling up. It was really intense, and he gave us probably the longest workouts of the ones we saw today. And you know, not too much. There wasn't too much smiling going on with Canelo. He was business in there afterwards,
Yes.
of course, when he would address the fans. But meanwhile, he was business for the most part.
Well, he needs to be.
People now hanging out, going to be leaving the beautiful Bank California Stadium right here. But Doug, I think we got a good little tease of what to expect. Both these fighters coming in extremely prepared. Both these fighters with no love loss. I think there's a mutual respect at the end of the day, but at the same time, I don't think they like each other with all the drama that's gotten to this point. I think we're going to see not only a better fight, like I mentioned earlier, a more violent fight, a fighter with two guys who are 100% focused and determined to prove that they are the #1 middleweight in the world.
Yeah, and I think by fans being here and fans tuning in to this stream, we get that teaser that we needed because we'd been bogged down by so much of the controversy, so much of the back and forth during negotiations. Well, now all that stuff is over.
Right.
Now we get to talk about the fight, and we get a reminder of what special athletes these guys are, what special boxers, what special fighters, warriors they are. We saw the highlights from their previous fights. We saw the highlights from the first bout. And we got to see their skill and technique just hitting mitts, and it just whets that appetite to see them punch each other on September 15th.
It's rare that we get to see two elite athletes, two fighters, champions, come together and share the ring and do it a second time. Now, going back to our poll of who you think is going to win, Canelo Alvarez or Gennady Golovkin. Oh, wow.
Right.
A dramatic turn of events.
I think that's going to actually happen at the official sports books in Las Vegas. I think.
You think the early money will be on Triple G?
Early money on Triple G.
Late money on Canelo.
And I think, yeah, but I think it'll still be like 8-5, 9-5.
That's a pretty even call. I mean, it's 54% Canelo, 46, but pretty even. Could have been 50-50. And I think, honestly, going into the September 15th, folks, it really is a 50-50 call. We've got two fighters at their peak, and anything can happen. Roxy Diaz did a great job for us yet again. I believe she's still down. Is she here joining us now, or where is she?
I'm still here.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Hey, Mario. Yeah.
I didn't know if you made your way up.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely amazing. I don't know if you could sense the intensity that was happening from up there, but down here in the ring, just watching Triple G as he was getting prepared, just doing the warm-up, it just seems like Triple G was a little bit more relaxed, having a little bit more fun, having fun with the crowd. He spent time and energy. Of course, Abel was here talking lots and lots of smack from his corner, as we expect him to do. But one thing I did notice that was really different, you know, just the teams in general. Canelo's team, they did not come here to play. They came here to show and prove what we're going to see on September 15th. Canelo was all serious. There was no jokes aside. You could see that he was focused. He is ready. And I think that the words and all the hype to get up to September 15th is really starting to get to him. So I think we're definitely going to see an amazing, amazing fight when it comes setting down. I don't know if you sensed the energy, but the energy was kind of thick in the ring when Canelo was here. I don't know if you sensed it, Mario.
No, we definitely did, Roxy, and thank you. You summed it up really, really nice. And he was focused, Doug and Triple G. You know, the guy doesn't stop smiling, but he's focused too. Both of them are serious. Both of them have camps or both of them have teams that really believe in them. They have passionate fan bases, as we see. We saw the polls. It's really 50-50. So it's rare that you get to see two fighters in their prime, champions going against each other with so much on the line.
Yeah, both fighters have extra motivation to train harder for this fight and to fight harder in this rematch, and they're going to need it. They really will.
Can I ask you for a prediction, or is it too early?
You know what?
See the distance for sure, though.
I do. I see a distance fight. I'm going to go with Triple G by majority or split decision. I won't be shocked if it's controversial going the other way, that the majority of media and fans believe that Canelo deserved it, which, of course, sets up
the
numero tres. Yes.
That I want to start the rumor we could do right here at the Bank of California.
It's a nice venue.
It's a beautiful California. Well, always great to see you, my friend, and to hang with you. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. Don't forget, September 15th, it is for the middleweight championship of the world. Canelo versus Triple G, round 2. We will see you there. And don't forget Facebook Watch, September 1st. Prior to that, nice little appetizer. Bye, folks.
Off the ring a little bit more effective in boxing.